Okie dokie, let's go and jump some ranked games with a random character and see what we're going to get today. Looks like we're playing the Reaper. It's been a while since I actually played the Reaper, so I might actually end up being a little bit rusty. But anyway, we got a frying pan, we got ourselves a flag Eric, which is going to be awesome. Now I don't think we actually want to go for double frying pan start. We definitely want to grab ourselves garlic though, to increase the damage on our frying pan, but also give us a small bit of block as well. Let's grab a shiny shell, let's grab our burning coal, well it's just a normal coal. And do grab a piggy bank. You know what, let's take it. As I roll. And that's going to be claws attack. Which is crazy not to take. The problem I have right now is I really do want to keep our piggy bank in for some extra monies. However, in future rounds, getting our claws attack is going to be insanely awesome. Now we could be greedy and take out one of our food items, but honestly, I'm just going to rock with this. I kind of do want to grab our whetstone to potentially go for hero sword with a claw attack, but this is going to be round 1 and we're going to be speeding up our frying pan like insanely fast. It's going to have a 1.1 stamina cost, but with a relic case, it's going to actually decrease in stamina consumption. And we're dealing some big damage, so we should definitely be able to outpace this mage. Although, it was looking a bit dicey because after that 5 seconds, those brooms go turbo nuts. But you got a claws attack, let's go and grab our whetstone, let's roll once to grab our bit of storage, and we're going to downgrade it to a hero sword. Let's sell our frying pan and let's go ahead and grab a second piggy bank for now also. Now we definitely want our lump of coal. We could place it in our backpack for a random buff and inflicting a random debuff. We can also go for a bit more damage by placing in our wooden sword since it has a lower cooldown. So a 70% chance to deal 1 extra damage per hit. I think I'd rather get the buff because if we manage to get ourselves Vampirism, Empower, anything but mana, we should be in a pretty good spot. Even spikes would do a little bit of chip damage to opponents. We did manage to get spikes, which is kind of nice. And also inflicted a bit of blind. But it's still not looking too great going up against Berserker. Can we win out? Unfortunately not. They just stacked up way too much damage and spikes. But we got our hero sword. And we got some fantastic freaking options. Being false life, being blood manipulation, but the best option we're going to have is Piggy Pinata since we do have 2 piggy banks already. But we could go for staff on healing with blood manipulation and we could go for staff on healing with false life. So some crazy options, but we're definitely going Piggy Pinata. I'm going to take a big old banana. I'm also going to take our health pot. I'm going to roll once. We do get ourselves an eye lamp with a leather bag also. I'm going to take the leather bag. I think we're going to sell our flag Eric. We can grab our eye lamp for a little bit of skilling damage. And so I do kind of want to craft up a Shelly. Let's go ahead and craft up a Shelly. Let's also get a bit of skilling damage on our hero sword since it is going to move a little bit faster. Although we definitely want to hit with our claws attack. But can we keep up with this burning sword, spear, pyromancer? You're going to have slime time for a lot of heals. You're going to have quite a bit of spike stacking too. And it's looking a bit dicey for us. Definitely looking dicey. And unfortunately we do end up falling short once again. But our piggy banks do explode, giving us insane items. Now we could make a big pivot. We can make a big pivot from a hero sword, which I'm going to do. Because we're going to take a broom and we're potentially going to go for maybe even a cold stacking build. But let's go ahead and grab another undead armor. Another amethyst. Maybe I want to go back and get our hero sword. But that is a mana orb as well. But we really do need a storage. We need to put in our banana. Although I am contemplating selling our pineapple and our garlic. Which I'm going to do. Let me get a magic staff online relatively fast. So I did want to go for a cold stacking build. Since we got our bird, we could craft up the crow. We should be able to inflict a lot of cold. We have the Shelly to cleanse it. It's looking pretty sweet, but since we got double arms of steel, I'm going to be leaning in a different direction. Our opponent does have a boomerang to steal a lot of our buffs, but we still definitely should be able to win out in hell, yeah. Although we could pivot back. We can pivot back right now. Back into Falcon Blade. However, let's go and grab our piggy bank. Let's roll again. Let's grab a bit of storage. I'm going to grab another burning coal for now as well. But let's roll once more. On Cedric and Bobbler, I do definitely want to grab. I also really want to grab the deck of cards. And let's get moving once again. But can we keep up? Our opponent does have double mana orbs with a toad, looking like they're going to go for Sir Sand. but can we actually win out? We have no mana generation for our magic staff. We do have our claws attack to scale up our damage with our empower. We also got double eye lamps to scale up our damage also. Now Piggy Bank go and explode. Unfortunately not. Let's grab our own silver combobulator. Let's grab a fanny pack. Let's go ahead and grab our deck of cards. And I'm not sure if I do want to reverse, so I'm going to roll once again. And you know what? I could go for a serpent staff type build with the crows. I think I'm down for it. Now we could make an even bigger pivot and get rid of everything with our unsavory combobulator, which I don't exactly want to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this. I'm just going to unsavory combobulate our shiny shell for now as well. Even though we could take the pineapple and offer that up as well. But let's keep moving for now. So we should be in a pretty good spot with our Amethyst Steel. Potentially actually win out. Once we get our vampiric armor that I'm going to be looking to craft up, it's going to be scaling block for us. It's going to be a ton of empower. It should be relatively awesome. And speaking of relatively awesome, hell yeah. Definitely so. Piggy Bank didn't explode again, which is a bit crazy in my opinion. However, we did get ourselves a shovel, which I'm going to sell. It's going to craft up the serpent staff. Let's grab a bit of storage. So I think we're going to sell our stone to grab ourselves our armor for now, because with empower, we actually make use of it with our claws attack along with our magic staff. We're going to take our 7 blueberries in the next rounds. I did take out our deck of cards. We're going to go for a serpent staff. And we'll see. We are facing our opponents at Berserker. With guard power, they're going to stack up a lot of buffs. The chi is going to give max life. They're going to block some damage with the shield. But lucky enough, our magic staff doesn't get blocked since it is a ranged weapon. Now if they had that moon shields, it definitely will be blocking our magic staff. But they have to heal them quite a bit. And unfortunately, I think, yeah, we're going to end up losing. Now we did get the Hexblade on sale. So we could go for Crows, Hexblade, Serpent Staff. We could also take the Alchemist, look for Stones and Pots. Or we could do something a little bit crazy and take Mr. Struggles. I'm going to take Mr. Struggles today. That is an artifact stone heat on top of everything. So we actually get 2 heat, 4 heats, 6 heat, 8 heat, and after this hits, that's going to be even more damage. Let's grab ourselves a race. We could take our Mr. Struggles. I'm going to roll again. We could end up just taking a ruby egg for more heats. We probably want to pivot into the dead side, which means we're going to be getting rid of our claws attack. Yeah, I'm going to take out a bird for now. We've got a lot of items I do want to actually grab, but we're going to get insane damage. Once we get our dragon egg as well, it should be a little bit easier to get our damage with our artifact stone heat as well. But we should have massive damage on our serpent staff. Just getting mana generation right now so we can inflict that poison also. And smashing. Piggy Bank did explode, giving us an amulet of energy along with Mrs. Struggles. And we're also going to get a crow. We got our storage. We got an insane shop. We could even take the fancy rapier to scale up our luck as well. Let's grab our storage. It's time to get rid of our claws attack. Because I do want to grab our dead side. So we're not going to be able to craft up our dragon just yet. But we should be able to get a ton of damage on our dead side along with our serpent staff. We're going to be speeding up our serpent staff. But again, we're going to need more mana generation. Now I do want to keep all these options open, so I'm going to have to venture on with this for now. We are going to begin a poison navy, so even if we do get enough mana, our serpent staff has a high chance to not actually inflict too much poison. But it's going to get some insane damage. We're scaling up our damage. We're not inflicting our poison too much. But our dead side should also have a lot of damage as well. The artifact stone heat coming in such a clutch time as well. And amazing. And we are going to craft up a crow and potentially go for the serpent staff poison stack and build. However, we could just forgo everything, take hardwood, and go for an insane wooden sword type play. We don't have a whole lot of common items, but we do got double amethyst steel, so it is definitely going to be 150,000% going to be worth grabbing. Let's grab both of these for now. Let's roll again. We really need this storage. I did want to keep our options open for our deck of cards to potentially stack up our heat infinitely. But we could also sell our Mr. Struggles. I know we definitely want Mr. Struggles to be removing our opponent's buffs, but I think I'm going to sell it for now, as crazy as that is. Because I do want a dragon egg in for now as well. I'd love to craft up a bird. I'd love to grab another anti-amulet, but I'm going to roll once. We do get a stone skin pot, which we're going to have to take also. But let's get going for now. So we do start off with 8 heats. We just need our artifact stone heat to hit once, our burning coal to go off. Now it's going to cleanse. Summon up blinder point is going to be flicking on us, which is kind of awesome. A Shelly should be able to activate. We also start off with 20 block, which is going to be a small bit more in power, but we definitely need to find more common items. But it's not looking too bad. Our Serpent Staff has a 22 DPS and smashing. Okay, we're doing a big pivot. We're definitely going to do a big pivot. We're going to sell our Dead Sight. We're going to sell our Serpent Staff. We're going to take our Wooden Sword. We're going to sell our Demonic Flask. We're going to take our Stone Skip Pot. And we could take a Prismatic Orb to craft up a Paradise Burb, which we're definitely going to be down for. I'd love to grab our Stamina Sack, but we just want to find ourselves a bunch of common items. Mr. Struggles I'm not going to be too pushed about. Let's go ahead and grab you. What's it going to be? Okay. I think we might have broke the game. We definitely broke the game. We really want to grab ourselves a Misfortune. We really want to grab ourselves more block. So each 2 common items is going to be 1 in power that we can use for our Wooden Sword. And since we do have Hardwood, our Wooden Sword is going to do insane damage. Now we definitely want to grab ourselves Misfortune along with the Fanny Pack, because with Misfortune we're going to be stacking our heat, making this the fastest Wooden Sword, and potentially getting... Actually, we're going to stack up in power. We're definitely going to stack up in power, which, honestly, I think that's going to be pretty good. Now, our opponent does have a Dagger Rang with the Chain Up, but this Wooden Sword is dealing 60 DPS right now. And smashing. We got a Paradise Burb. Let's go and grab our Fanny Pack. Let's go and grab Misfortune. Let's roll once. And we're actually going to grab the shields along with a Mana Orb. So we're definitely going to grab our shields. We're going to end up stacking up mana, but if we get a big mana buff bomb, we should potentially be able to lamp our Wooden Sword, which is going to be our end goal. Definitely going to be our end goal. We did change our setup around, so we should potentially be able to duplicate our empower that we do stack up if we get some scaling block. We also want to dupe whatever buffs our Misfortune is going to give us also. But for now, I'm going to venture on with this. We do have our Mr. Struggles target our Wooden Sword along with our Shelly, which should be relatively awesome. We got 15 in power. Our Wooden Sword, it does have a 67 DPS and smashing. Definitely smashing. Let's grab our shields. Let's go ahead and grab our Mana Orb. Let's roll once. And that's our first lamp. Also, again, we do need to keep every common item. So the problem I'm having right now is we're not having our common items in, which is not so great. Once we get our Moon Shield in, we're going to stack up a bunch of mana, which is going to be relatively nice, but we do need to find ourselves another Mana Orb. But I am going to venture on with this for now. We do get tons of power, and we should be able to get tons of block. We're also blocking some damage, but we are facing a ranged weapon, but the fight's already over. I mean, triple Amps of Steel is just absurd. It doesn't matter what weapon we have. We just happen to have possibly the best setup with Hardwood to make even better use of Amps of Steel, because we're getting 150% more damage on our power on our Wooden Sword. We'll also give us block to stack up our power. Yeah, it's kind of nuts. Definitely nuts. We're going to 150,000%. Going to continue on. That is for sure. Let's grab a bit of storage. Let's go and grab our healing herbs. We're going to grab the box of riches, as crazy as that sounds. Mainly because this is going to give us some chipped gemstones. And getting chipped gemstones is going to give us common items. So it's going to be relatively awesome. But I'm going to venture on once again. Now we're going to end up stacking up mana with our Misfortune, which is not going to be so great. Actually, we still get Empower, which is pretty sweet. But hell yeah, the fight's over super quickly. We got ourselves our little chipped amethyst. Let's go and grab our Jin's lamp. Let's roll once. We grab a bit of storage. We grab ourselves our chipped amethyst. We keep rolling for now. We can go for a second Wooden Sword for even more DPS. But we take our stone as well. So as crazy as this sounds, I'm going to take out our leather armor. If we had a vampiric armor, I would gladly add it in. But for now, we should be able to get a ton. But for now, we should be able to get a ton of power. We should potentially be able to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 120 block from this, which is going to be 3 in power each. And Arms of Steel. That's going to be an absurd amount of mana as well. But let's get moving on. Also, there was a piggy bank in our shop and I didn't take it. What the hell am I doing? We are facing a double snow stick build, which is going to be slowing us down by quite a bit. They're going to be trying to steal our buffs with Mrs. Struggles as well. But I think we should be in a pretty good spot, because once we drop below 50% HP, our wooden sword goes nuts. And yeah, it's not going to be close. And we could grab another misfortune. Well, let's go ahead and grab our bloody amulet. Let's roll again. Can we grab ourselves another amulet steel? Unfortunately not. So I think at this point, we're probably going to sell Shelly. Shelly's not going to do a whole lot for us anyway. We're going to grab this fanny pack. And what we're going to do is, we're going to add in our vampiric armor. The problem I have is we definitely need our eye lamp in. We need our eye lamp in so we get our heats. But I still kind of want to roll. That's our mana orb. Hell yeah. We gladly take our mana orb. Get a big mana buff bomb. Get even more buffs. Pretty much try to instant lamp our wooden sword as well. Gotta remember, these are common items. We gotta take them as well. And at this point, we're gonna move on. So we should be able to get our spikes with our Amids of Wales. The hard part is getting our luck. Since we're gonna start off with a lot of mana as well, we have the potential to activate our big mana buff bomb. We got insane power. It's not looking too bad. And right now we're not lamping our wooden sword, but we are stacking up our power with a misfortune and smashing. Let's grab our stamina sec. Let's grab our healing herbs. Let's grab our mana orb. So I did move our whole setup around, so we can actually try to get as much value from our hardwood as possible. Right now we got about 8 activators on it, giving us 160 block, which means about 4 power per amethyst steel. 160 block is also going to give us quite a bit of mana, and we should have a lot of damage on our wooden sword, with our misfortune stacking up our power as well. With a Paradise Barb to try to duplicate our mana that we hopefully trying to get as well. But let's move on for now. So if we end up stacking up mana, it's going to be kind of awesome because we should be able to get a big mana buff bomb, which we instantly get. We should pretty much have 100 DPS with our wooden sword, and we're dealing massive damage. And that was that a 446 crit? Yeah, that was a 446 crit with a wooden sword. A 5% chance on our wooden sword to deal insane damage. So I'm kind of glad we did pivot. We got tons of block, we got insane damage, and yeah, should be kind of nuts. Let's grab our little pocket sand, let's grab ourselves a blueberries, let's roll again, let's grab our stamina sec. We could grab ourselves a heart container, but I don't really want to. Let's actually grab ourselves another one of these because we can actually slot this in, take out our banana, and get a ton of value. Let's keep rolling. That is a prismatic orb, which I'd love to grab as well. But it is what it is. Let's sell our box switches. We don't necessarily want a deck of cards anymore. I do like blueberries because it does end up stacking up our luck for us. We could grab the unstable recombobulator. Since you're on sale, let's roll again. And you know what? I'm going to sell it to grab this bit of storage. Now, it's definitely been a while. Been a long time since I actually got a fantastic hardwood type game. This is actually looking kind of crazy, especially with triple amethyst steel. I mean, it's more of a triple amethyst steel type game, but hardwood with amethyst steel is just nuts. And I have no idea why I actually didn't place that down in that position, because we would get a little bit more block from our moon shields, giving us 2 more mana off the rip as well. But genuinely, the artifact stone heat put in a lot of work for us also, giving us extra damage on our wooden sword, giving us 100%, 150% more damage on the wooden sword. But all started from a Piggy Pinata. But let's go and see if it's going to be good enough. Can we actually win out? Are we going to fall short? We are taking on a Frostbite Hunter with a bunch of red collars. So we're going to get insane amounts of lifesteal. A bunch of vampiric pots, blood manipulation. We're dealing massive damage right now. We have 140 DPS on our wooden sword. And smashing. Not even close whatsoever. Now, unfortunately, we didn't activate a Jin's lamp, but we had so much power that didn't matter. We actually ended up with 150 DPS being our wooden sword, ruby bulb, artifact stone heat, putting in a lot of damage. Artifact stone heat actually dealt 13 DPS. Since we had so much power, this actually only hits once, and it dealt 52 damage in that one hit. Now, in terms of heals, yeah, we had very, very little heal. But in terms of block, we managed to get about 604 block, 151 block per second. Hardwood giving us 260 block, since it does get an increase from our Moon Shield also. With Vampiric Armor giving us 156 block, Amethyst Steel. Putting in a lot of work for us. But definitely a super awesome smashing build, and that's why I love Piggy Pinata. But we did end up surviving with 4 lives left. Let's go and see just how much rank points we managed to get. Plus 13, ranking us up quite a bit. But I am going to leave you here for now. Just want to say thanks for watching. And if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, comment, or even consider subscribing. And I hope to keep looking for the next one. I'll see you next time. Now, let's go ahead and see if we can deal with some other round 18 fights. We are taking on a Serpent Staff, Magic Torch. Are they going to be able to stop us? Definitely not. Now, can we deal with a Katana, Piercing Arrow? They do have Shielded. It's a pretty decent build for the Ranger. Moving a lot of our buffs. They do have a perfect software to attack through block. If there's any build that's going to stop us, it was going to be that one. However, can we take on a big old Buster Blade with a 100% crit chance? It's going to do big damage. They do have the unique unique to make it even faster. But not too bad. Now, can we take on in a Practically Large Bloodthorn with the Scales? With the Paradise Burb? They're going to try to get this in Practically Large Greatsword to deal massive damage. It goes super fast. They do get invulnerability, keeping them alive for such a long time. But our little wooden sword deals more damage than the big Bloodthorn.